foggy Halloween night, a little girl with a worn-out candy cart wandered the empty streets of a forgotten town. She sold candy, but not to children, only to ghosts. One shadowy figure stopped in front of her cart, eyes glowing beneath a tattered sheet. The girl handed him a caramel apple, and he vanished, leaving behind a coin that burned her tiny hand. Strange whispers followed her as she walked home, warning of an unseen danger. Tonight, she would discover that one spirit was not like the others, and that a secret buried decades ago could change her life forever. Who is the ghost that chose her? Watch till the end. It will shock you. The streets were empty that Halloween night, cloaked in fog that curled around lampposts like restless spirits. Children's laughter had long since faded from the old town, leaving only shadows that clung to crumbling buildings and cracked sidewalks. At the heart of this eerie silence stood a little girl, no older than 10, with a weathered candy cart painted in faded pastels. Her name was Lily. She had been selling candy for as long as she could remember, but not to ordinary children. She sold it only to those who no longer walked among the living. The first ghost appeared as the clock struck 9. A translucent boy hovered in front of her cart, eyes wide and hollow, the faint glow of his spectral form shimmering in the mist. Lily held out a small caramel apple wrapped in golden foil. He reached for it, and when his fingers brushed hers, a chill ran up her arm. He vanished, leaving behind a silver coin that burned against her palm. Lily had long grown accustomed to such oddities. She whispered softly, as though greeting an old friend, "Thank you." Night after night, the same cycle repeated. Ghosts came to her cart in silence, each receiving a candy of their choice, leaving coins in return. They never spoke, yet their presence carried stories in the weight of their gaze, in the sorrow etched upon their faces. Some were young, innocent, caught in accidents or tragedy. Others were older, carrying burdens of regret or revenge. The town had long forgotten them, but Lily had not. She knew their names, their misfortunes, the life they had lost, and for a price, simple candy, she offered them remembrance. But this Halloween was different. A shadow moved at the edge of the fog, larger and darker than the others. Lily noticed immediately. Its presence was commanding, almost human, yet impossibly still. It approached her cart slowly, deliberately. The air grew colder, the fog thicker, and even the smaller spirits seemed to drift back in fear. Lily swallowed hard. She had never seen a spirit like this, not in all her years. The figure stopped a few feet away, shrouded in darkness. No eyes glowed, no features were visible. Lily's heart raced. She lifted a hand and offered a chocolate bar wrapped in silver foil. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then, in a flash of movement, the shadow leaned closer and whispered, though no sound reached Lily's ears. A sense of dread flooding her mind. "You must know the truth." The other ghosts recoiled, as if sensing danger. Lily's small frame shivered. She had always believed that her work was simple. Offer candy, bring comfort, and in return, the spirits could rest for a night. But this one was different. Its presence carried a weight that tugged at memories she didn't even know she had buried deep inside. She reached for her notebook, the one she used to record every ghost she met, and instinctively began to write. The shadow's form flickered, revealing the faintest silhouette of a girl older than Lily, her dress tattered and eyes dark pools of sorrow. Lily's pen trembled. She had never seen a spirit who looked so alive, yet dead. And then a memory struck her, a fragment of a story she had been told as a child. A tale of a girl who had vanished decades ago from this very town, a girl rumored to have been cursed, forgotten by the living, wandering ever since. Could this be the same one? The ghost glided closer. Lily felt the temperature drop sharply. Her breath formed clouds in the cold air. She offered another piece of candy, this one wrapped in pink paper. As she did, the figure's features sharpened, delicate, pale, with hair like midnight spilling across her shoulders. Lily recognized something impossible, a locket around the spirit's neck, the same one she had seen in a family portrait in her grandmother's attic. Shock rooted Lily to the spot. This was no ordinary ghost. This was someone connected to her, someone whose disappearance had haunted the town for decades. The realization struck her chest with such force she gasped. Her small hands shook, the candy slipping to the ground. The figure bent down, its ghostly hand brushing the treat, but not eating. Instead, the ghost's presence filled Lily's mind with images, the girl's life before she vanished. The fear, the betrayal, the secret that had trapped her soul here. The whispers of the other spirits grew louder, as though urging Lily to act. She understood that this ghost had not come for candy, but for justice. Lily's heart pounded. She was only a child, but she felt the weight of the centuries pressing down. She realized she had a choice: ignore the shadow, continue her nightly routine, or confront the truth and risk everything. A gust of wind swept through the streets, extinguishing lanterns and tossing leaves like tiny specters. The ghost extended her hand, a silent plea that Lily could not ignore. Trembling, Lily followed her instinct, placing the locket carefully in her palm. The moment she did, the spirit's form began to shimmer, eyes glistening with gratitude, sorrow, and relief all at once. The fog thickened, the other ghosts watching, and then slowly, the cursed girl's form dissipated into a cascade of soft light, leaving behind a single silver coin, warm and heavy in Lily's hand. Exhausted, Lily slumped by her cart, watching as the smaller spirits resumed their gentle rotations. She understood now that candy had been a medium, a bridge between life and death, memory and forgetting. Her gift was not for sustenance, but for acknowledgement. Each ghost carried a story, a past, a longing, and she was their messenger. She had always known this in her heart, but tonight the weight of the responsibility had crystallized. The town itself seemed to breathe. The fog lifted slightly, revealing the skeletal shapes of buildings she had never noticed, the long-forgotten streets where children had once played. Lily pushed her cart forward, resolved to continue her work, but with a new awareness. She was not just a candy seller. She was a guardian of memories, a keeper of secrets, a bridge for those who could no longer speak. Night after night, the cycle continued. Each ghost that approached her cart carried a a life interrupted, a regret lingering. Some were angry, some mournful, some playful. Lily met each with patience, offering candy, offering acknowledgement, offering presence. She learned to read their expressions, subtle shifts in glow, the tone of their movements. She discovered that even the smallest gestures, a caramel apple, a chocolate bar, a kind smile, could bring peace, yet the memory of the cursed girl lingered. Lily often paused, glancing at the streets where she had vanished, wondering what would have happened if she had acted sooner. The lessons she learned were heavy but precious, that even children could bear responsibility, that courage did not depend on size or age, and that acknowledgement could heal wounds that spanned decades. Years later, the town remembered her differently. The stories of a little girl who sold candy to ghosts circulated quietly among elders and children alike. Some dismissed them as tales of imagination. Others, who had glimpsed shadows or coins in unusual places, whispered of the truth. But Lily knew. She carried the weight and the honor of her task, understanding that life and death were intertwined, and that even the smallest hands could bridge worlds. On every Halloween, she set up her candy cart, the same worn wood and faded paint, in the same fog-covered streets. She smiled gently at each spirit who approached, no matter how frightening, no matter how sorrowful. And sometimes, in the faintest glow of the mist, she saw her, the cursed girl, smiling back, no longer trapped, no longer angry, at peace. Lily's heart swelled with relief, her mission fulfilled, but her purpose eternal. Every ghost has a story, every candy a bridge. And tonight, one little girl reminded us all that even in darkness, courage and compassion can light the way. Watch till the end to see the moment that changed everything.